Hello, everybody. Allow me a small case study due to a current event. This is a small case study on cost accounting and cheating. So, rather a strange topic, but perhaps you see that this illustrates a bit of business administration basic things. The case data are as follows. Imagine you are a student and you think about the following a bit bad idea. What if I don't write my exam myself, but employ a so-called ghostwriter? Then how shall I do this? Now you hope perhaps for technical tips how that could be done. No, I am a professor and sorry to disappoint you. I can't help you. How you organize that, that is your problem. By the way, we are rather up to date. The chances are great that we catch you. But at least in that field, there is some suspense. But what I can do for you is to talk with you about the business administration aspect of that whole affair. For example, what will it cost? Simple approach. You want somebody to write a 120 minutes exam for you, so this person needs at least 110 minutes working time for the exam itself and 10 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, to communicate the results to you so that you can load them up or communicate them, try to copy them. So, okay. Then you need somebody competent as a ghostwriter, and this is somebody with a good knowledge of the field on which you're going to not to write an exam. Okay, now you need somebody who is really good in the field, because if you fear that you could fail, it is not a good idea to replace yourself by somebody who is also not good in the field and then fails instead of you. Because then you fail the exam and pay for it, which is usually not a good idea. So you could that have received for less money. So you must take somebody who is really good in the field, a qualified person. Now, in the field of business taxation or taxation at all, or business administration, all the guys and girls have rather good job opportunities, so they are all not struck by poverty. And so, if you look for somebody who has a decent knowledge, these people earn between 50 and 100 euro per hour, perhaps even more. That means, to your surprise, um, we end up with already 120 minutes or so for an hourly wage of 50 or 100 euro. But now, perhaps it will surprise you, other people are not geniuses by birth. So you have, although you don't trust yourself, you have a certain basic intelligence, probably as high as all the others. You are only frustrated, perhaps. So the problem is you would have to learn, and no surprise, your ghostwriter will also have to learn. So that person will need at least 2 days to work himself or herself through all the stuff, more likely 4 or 5 days to pass an exam and be on the same side, on the safe side, with an unknown professor, with an unknown specific contents of a course. So we are talking now at least about a decent payment for 2 full days of concentrated work, let's say 10 hours preparation time for 2 days. That is 20 hours plus 1.5 hours exam time. So we have 21.5 hours times 50 euros minimum wage. That means 1075 euro, more likely twice the amount, so 2,150 amount. Let's go on. More probably, we will need even more time. So not the 2 days, but rather the 4 or 5 days. So we speak about, let's say, 40 hours or 50 euro. That is 2,000 euro or are 100 euro or 4,000. That means 4,000 or any amount in between. Depends probably on the field where you want to write your exam. This is a conservative estimate, so rather prudent. You can imagine you will not get it for less. Why is that really compelling? This cost calculation? Well, when you learned about cost accounting, you heard also something about opportunity costs. The guy or girl with the required knowledge could easily use the time which he or she works for you for other opportunities, and there he or she would get paid with 50 or 100 euro per hour. So if that person spends the time on your order, that person loses the revenue from other opportunities. So the 2,000 or 4,000 euro, which can be earned otherwise, would be lost. So somebody would really be a saint if that person accepts an order for less. The only alternative would be it's somebody who really has no chance in the job, and that person, ladies and gentlemen, would probably not be good enough. Okay. If we draw the consequence from that, if somebody would be willing to work for less than this amount, this would be highly fishy and not recommendable. That person has professional problems. No job available is usually then the consequence of not that amount of knowledge which you need. So can't be good. If somebody works for less, not recommendable. So in plain words, if somebody works for less, that's probably an idiot in the field. But a courageous idiot takes the job, doesn't care about you. If then that person fails, you cannot complain because it was an illegal activity and you can't claim the money back. Probably you don't know the real name of your ghostwriter. So, bad luck. You wanted to play tricks and somebody played tricks on you. Happens. Now, what happens if you address somebody who is really competent? Then you should be willing to pay that amount of 2,000 to 4,000 euro for a single exam of 60 to 100 minutes. Or everything else would be fishy. So if you are willing to do this, you are evidently financially very well off, and that raises a question: why do you need to study? Evidently, you have much money. So I would suggest just enjoy your wealth. Don't take a job and live from your money. Is probably the more reasonable approach. Now, imagine you find somebody competent and want him or her to write your exam, but you never cared about business administration, not even about the details and the basics. And so you probably never thought about a simple cost calculation for a minimum price as we did it just now. So you probably now have no idea of the prices which you have to offer, and you bring forward the excellent suggestion: I pay you 100 euro if you write an exam for me. For you, 100 euro, you are a student, is an enormous amount of money. Now, how will the other side feel about it? What happens? Now, your first idea is, if it's not enough, the girl or guy on the other side will decline my offer. Indeed, that is a reasonable idea, but only if you had offered 2,900 instead of 3,000, or 3,900 instead of 4,000. Then you would have got a simple no. Now, when you offer the 100, let's just make a kind of a reverse calculation. So let's divide the 100 through the time which is necessary to earn that money and give a good job. For example, preparation, we said 20 hours at minimum, 40 hours more probable. So divide 100 by 10, then you pay 10 hours and 10 euros per hour. That means 10 euro per hour for somebody who should be an expert. Now the minimum wage is already more than 10 euro, so the person who cleans your waste bin gets more. Um, so you conveyed an excellent message to that other person. It's rather offensive, isn't it? Now, so what will really happen in that situation is as follows. The guy or girl takes your job, naturally, does write your exam, and then calls your professor anonymously and hands over all the necessary information to prove that you were cheating. Because what you did was evidently a really brutal violation of that person's code of honor. Um, yeah, happens. And happens not only rarely, happens more often than you thought about it. By the way, rather lucky, you could also have ended up somewhere where somebody took the low amount of money and later, during your whole career, would have gone on with blackmailing you so that that person would have made you pay in later years what you did not want to pay now. This is also not a very convenient idea. Yeah, what can we learn from that simple theoretical case study? First, stay honest. It makes no sense to place orders for ghostwriting. Second, if you want to do such a stuff, learn at least the basics of business administration, for example, cost accounting, price calculation, and opportunity costs that can greatly help your career. Yeah, now let me express my special thanks to the anonymous ghostwriter to whom I owe the idea for this little case study. And at the end, I also want to express my deep, honest, and rather helpless condolences to the student who also made the example possible. Just as a warning to others, think about the things which you are going to do. Okay, I, by the way, couldn't resist the temptation to tell the story and load this up. Now, I hope you enjoyed this small lecture a bit too. And please do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done it. Like some videos that probably pushes up the reputation of the channel, and pass the video on to people whom you like, whom you don't like, and especially pass it on to people who perhaps might feel certain temptations.